What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Beyond the Gates on this fine Wednesday. I think it's gonna be a toughie today, though. I think we're gonna be back with Ashley today because we could only have a 1 day break from her, I guess. So yeah, I know Tyrell's on today, but it's asking a lot for Tyrell to save today's episode when he's only on a couple times a month. Hello, Kaiwan. Hello, Bookcello. Welcome back. As usual, I will say my Paramount Plus stream is usually a minute behind anyone watching on CBS, and I'll be typing notes if I could get comfortable. Mine is beginning with Tyrell, at least. I mean, they would have been harsher on Samantha. Hello, Lightning Storm. Welcome back. Hello, Devin. Must be having a laid back day at work today, Devin, hopefully. Hello, Z Hicks. Sounds slow, Devin. Hello, Diane. Hello, Exotic Butterfly. Is it good to be slow, Devin? Z Hicks says Ted from Nicole to Shanice, little player. That's how Ted be. Then he'll run into Leslie too. Hello, Alvin Chapman. Welcome back. Hello, Denise Hill. Welcome back. I think a lot of today's episode and tomorrow's is going to surround around Derek's death. Well, glad you could join us, David. And everyone's still grieving Derek except his best friend Jacob. I would love for Grayson to go so far undercover that we don't see him anymore. How Jacob would do that too. This whole aftermath is a joke, not a good joke. Book Chalice says, I don't think the actor who plays Jacob has enough range. It's bad enough we watch Ashley cry air. I mean, if we had to watch Ashley cry air, they could at least make Jacob do something. I mean, it was supposed to be his best friend. Kaiwan says he deserves to go to jail. He was involved with the whole blood bank scandal. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, Grayson's just free of everything. Like he wasn't involved with it at all. Devin says for their safety, maybe Grayson and Ashley should join the witness protection. Yes, send them out of state, far, far away. And then when they catch the impaler, leave them far, far away. I guess Kaiwan, I guess they want Ashley to stand by her new man, even though he helped get Derek killed. Diane says, I agree someone should pay. I guess it's supposed to be Leah that pays. Bookchild says, I don't understand how Grayson isn't fired from Garland. Me either. Hello, DGF. Welcome back. Bookchild says the worst part is we're still not close to ending this terrible Impaler storyline. Nope. This show does not like to end stories or, move on, transition to different stories. Kaiwan, I'm sure Macaulay Culkin makes bank from Home Alone still to this day. Ah, yes, a paper airplane contest for Naomi and Ashley. Riveting television. And they both sucked. Both paper airplanes sucked. That could have been a scene off screen, Kaiwan, was this paper airplane scene instead of Madison's entire storyline. Hello, Phoenix Rising. Book Child says, I am so bored. The only thing that keeps me watching are these watch alongs. Same. But also some days I don't know if I have the energy to like be on camera for a watch along. So I gotta take days off eventually. Devin says, Big Brother is so close, then we're gonna have live feed watch alongs. Yeah, I might do that if I have time in the mornings or afternoons. Phoenix Rising says, I can tell today's episode blows based on your tone. It blows, all right. Hello, Bobby Wobby, welcome. Devin says, last year mornings was watching Kelly sing to herself. Mornings are usually not very good on the feeds. Lightning Storm says, the cotillion is over. The Impaler has climaxed, even though not over. Now they really need to introduce new storylines. No, they're not going to introduce new storylines other than maybe Terrell and Jessica were stuck with the regular stuff. They could move some storylines along. Like it's long overdue to climax Bill and Haley. Oh yay, now Leslie interrupting Ted and Shanice. Ted really trying to impress Shanice today. And it worked. I guess Shanice is easy like his ex-wife. Honestly, just three losers in a scene. Ted, Shanice, and Leslie. Lightning Storm says Leslie needs to find herself low on money after all this spending. I don't know. She seems to have endless money. Bookchild says Shanice's standards are way too low. Yeah, judging by this scene. Ted standing up to Leslie for the first time ever is enough to get her hot. I might respond to some emails. This episode's so boring. Phoenix Rising says, yesterday fans lit the writers up on the BTG CBS IG page. They showed a clip of Haley and Bill. Commenters said they are over this storyline. I posted that it's been 84 years. GIF on this post. Good, good. I've seen definitely more people calling out the writing on Twitter as well. It needs to be called out because it's not good. Kyle, I think the show actually just needs better villains, period. They could wrap up Joey and Leslie's whole storyline and ship them away, and I think the show might actually be better for it. Book Chalice says if they make Leslie crazy again, I won't take her seriously. The writers wasted her. They did. She's not to be taken seriously as a villain. And that's even despite not having any consequences for Laura. Devin says Ben Gavin said in his interview with Cornelius that they know when some weeks are going to suck or some stories are bad, but power through it. Well, he should know because he was stuck in some of the worst storylines on the show, poor guy. Oh my god, they're still throwing fucking paper airplanes? Bookchaw says, I am tired of the ladies who lunch too. Mona and Jan can go. Yeah, they don't really bring much to the show. And I don't want to see any more awkward, cringe Mona and Randy scenes. It's going to be Grayson. Oh, thank God. Who the fuck is this old man? We get Ashley's dad before Madison's mom, even though I feel like Ashley's dad was never mentioned. Or was it Derek's dad? I don't even know. Probably Derek's dad. Sorry to make you gag, Bookchella. Gavin said he should have had a heel turn after Ashley left him. He should have become a big heel like he normally plays in movies, but they didn't want to go that way. They should have. I thought they were going to go that way when he was faking stuff with the whole not walking. Then I guess Brian is Derek's dad. I don't know. Kathy says, I turned my TV off. Well, I'm glad you still listen to me, Kathy. Today is not a mussy episode by any means. DGF says, "Why is Ashley getting the grieving widow treatment? She needs to be at work with Shanice." I agree. That's why I said this whole aftermath doesn't make any goddamn sense. She wasn't with Derek. She didn't give a shit about Derek. We saw with our own eyes. So why is this entire aftermath about Ashley, who we don't give a fuck, like she didn't give a fuck about Derek? Makes no damn sense. Bobby Wobby says a paper plane contest in the living room instead of outdoors. Should have left that out the script. They should have. And then they're not even gonna have any momentum with this whole Tyrell stuff today and the younger couple, because I don't know if enough people are gonna wanna sit through this episode to get to that. Bookchild says, "I don't know why they act like Ashley thought of Derek as the love of her life. She didn't give a damn about him until now." Exactly. No GB, no Deanna today. She'll probably be back in a few weeks. DGF says, like, fetch. Ashley's not gonna happen. Nope. Bobby says, as a paper plane thrower in my youth, I'm offended. They weren't doing a very good job. They weren't flying very long. They were going straight down. Kaiwan says the younger couple storyline is interesting. It's not being utilized. It needs to be utilized more. Bookchaw says, thankfully, no Nicole, Carlton, or Kyle. I guess thank God for small miracles at least. Exotic Butterfly says, enough with the grieving Ashley. They didn't give trash this edit after Doug passed. They didn't. Vanessa was moving right on to Joey. They were still together. She accused him for one day. That was it. Then she did some fake crying a couple episodes. And that's why we don't take trash seriously now. We're supposed to take Ash. This show doesn't make fucking sense. The writing doesn't make sense. What we see with our own eyes is not the aftermath we've gotten for both of these storylines. That's a great point, Exotic Butterfly. I need to put this in my notes. At least they're still doing a good job with Tyrell. Lightning Storm says, I'm from the Midwest. You throw a paper plane outside here and you'll never see it again. I don't know how y'all live with that much wind. Bookchaw says, I agree. Kaiwan, Tyrell, and Jessica should have been caught in bed together. Would have been more dramatic. Good to see Jessica today, though. I guess they are gonna write it as Jacob is not going to want to have to mourn Derek, probably just to save us from his acting. I know Bobby Wobbie. I'm surprised we're getting an on-screen press conference too. I don't know DGF. Is Pink in a musical or something? But of course, we gotta have Leslie. I mean, I'm glad they're having this press conference on screen, but it's no The Wire. Bookchild says that is a tiny press conference. Lightning Storm says, how are they just going to have a knee x-ray up in the monitor for all to see? True. Denise says the press conference at the nurses station, they have no budget. Listen, I'm not going to give them crap. At least they're showing a press conference. Leslie's being absurd, though. Clearly, they just see Leslie as supposed comedy relief, but sometimes it's as cringe as Mona and Randy scenes. Hello, Franco. It's a bad episode. Bobby Wobbie says, no, not Leslie. Miss Blue says the press conference should have been done outside of the hospital, not inside, but they don't have an outside. Exotic Butterfly says this bee. Bookchala is so sick of Leslie. Lightning Storm says Shanice should have slapped that bee right on camera in front of everyone. She can't do that at work. DGF says Leslie is not amusing. Most of the time these days, she's not. She's not very amusing to me. Denise Hill says Leslie is a trip. Franco, it's Elon having a press conference on the blood plasma stuff. Intellectual says, man, Leslie is too soaptastic. I'd probably like it more if she was, had more of a purpose. But clearly they just use comedy relief these days, I guess. Diana's puking. Cassie says, "Leslie has ruined this episode." Miss Blue says, "Leslie wanted her 15 minutes." Bobby asks, "Why did Elon let her talk?" Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They just let her do whatever. Intellectual liked that scene, said it was hilarity. I thought it was corny. Cassie says, "Throw this episode in the trash. Why let her even talk?" They did write her in a way where she doesn't, nobody steps to Leslie except for Derek, and he's dead. Book Chalice says, "It's time for Leslie to go to prison. Just get her off my screen. She is the Phyllis Summers of this show, and that never goes away." She kind of is the Phyllis of this show, like Phyllis on Young and the Restless. That's not a compliment. Doc Backhand said, "I did LOL with Leslie trying her Meryl Streep grief impression." Phoenix says Jacob's acting is terrible. That's probably why they're not having him mourn Derek. Yeah, DGF, they did film some scenes outdoors at the very beginning. I don't know why they can't do that again, unless it costs more money or something. I don't know, Kaiwan. I don't think that Leslie is a Lucy or a Heather. Definitely not a Heather, because Heather was an actual villain. Intellectual really likes that scene, says it was iconic. It def was corny, but it was so tastic corny. But Passion sucked, Intellectual. And all these comparisons to Passions for the show this week is not a good thing. Miss Blue says they could have done it outside. Bill and Naomi were outside in a scene during the first season. They were, but it probably cost more money. It was Franco. I did enjoy those scenes outdoors for Naomi and Bill. That was when I really liked Naomi at the beginning, actually. That has long changed. She could be written off tomorrow and I wouldn't care. Miss Blue liked Timmy and Tabitha on Passions. I couldn't stand Passions in case I haven't made that obvious. Exactly, Franco. I used to like some of these characters, but Vanessa has regressed. She's so one note, and Naomi is boring. Yeah, that's true, Franco. It was just a year ago. Devin Passions was a supernatural soap opera, but it was kind of like a caricature of soap opera characters, but it moved so slow and it was so dumb. Like it was played more for comedy than drama, but not in a good way, kind of in a cringe way. Bookchild says Naomi was really good in the beginning, then the writers started acting like they didn't know what to do with her, still don't. Yeah, they had no idea what to do with Jacob and Naomi. You're right, Lightning Storm, this is a random diabetes public service announcement. Z Hicks says, "Ted is Leslie's puppet in the end, no chance, Denise." That's what it seems like. Bookchild says, "Passions had some of the worst actors in daytime." It's true. Honestly, Tomas might have been a good actor on Passions. So, Jen just thought Grayson was gonna stay 24/7 with Ashley. Exotic Butterfly didn't notice. Leah says that Mona and Jen made her feel like she was watching an Ozempic commercial. Maybe they got some extra cash for that. Devin says they have a built-in story that they won't go to. Naomi needs to get pregnant, then we have 2 months of storylines at least, possible 9 months. I mean, I don't like pregnancy storylines, but I thought they would go that way. Franco says, "Now I'm gonna have to watch tonight just to see if Mona has pink eye." Tells you how good the episode's going if that's what you're tuning in for. I assume this is Derek's father. I'm not gonna lie, I have not been paying attention to Ashley's scenes today. Intellectual passion sucked. Sorry. Ashley's crying right now would have won her an Emmy on Passions comparison to their acting on that show. Oh my god, this is so bad. These Ashley scenes, I feel worse about Ashley than I did at this point last year when I hated her. Lightning Storm says, "What is happening? Ashley knows Jacob didn't involve Derek in anything. WTF?" You know Ashley, she doesn't stick up for the right people ever. Miss Blue says Tomas would have been a star on Passions for sure. He's a typical Passions hire. Franco asks if you could fire only one actor from this show, who would it be? I mean, for most of this year, it would have been Tomas, but after the past 2 weeks, it would be Ashley. Not because of her acting, just because of the character. But if it's because of the acting, then Tomas. Bobby Wobby says Jacob better watch out for him. Maybe that's Jacob's next story. Derek's daddy pissed at Jacob. Miss Blue says Naomi needs to tell everyone that she tested positive for the BRCA gene. I don't know why she hasn't. Bookchild says too much Ashley. I guess we won't see Derek send up just like Doug. I think we'll see the aftermath tomorrow, just like Doug. DGF says I'm not touched. Not me either. Exotic Butterfly says, I think Ashley and Jacob may end up having an affair from grieving Derek. Who's Naomi going to make paper airplanes? I don't see them having an affair. Ashley's still going to be wrapped up in Grayson, and I'm not going to want to watch any of that. Miss Blue says, fire, trash, and Ashley. I mean, yeah, Vanessa could go too, but they have to give us some sort of payoff from torturing us with those endless Vanessa and Joey scenes first. I wish this episode had more Terrell, Jessica, Samantha than fucking Ashley. I agree with Diane. Fire the writers first and foremost. Let's start over. Devin says in 2016, Derek and Tomas starred in the same movie, My Christmas Love. Have you watched it? How was their acting? Hopefully, Tomas played a Christmas decoration come to life with that roboticness. I don't know how old Martin is, Kaiwan. He can't be too old because if he's old, then Nicole and Ted should be pushing 60. Duck Backhand says a very special episode with the diabetes PSA and the sex talk with Tyrell and Pop. Honestly, I wish they would have played these beats and we would have saw Terrell come home with a big goofy smile on his face. Miss Blue says Martin should have been casted as Vernon and Anita's son instead of their grandson. I agree. Exotic Butterfly says, I am done going back to work. This whole episode has been nothing but grief, diabetes, pink eye, paper airplanes, and the birds and the bees. See you, Exotic Butterfly. Better luck tomorrow. Yes, Franco. Martin did have a sex talk today. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of after school special-ish. Bookchild says the writers keep showing us the stuff we don't want to see and just talking about the stuff we want to see. It's really infuriating sometimes. At least we're getting to see. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Franco says, "Isn't Tyrell about to go to college and he's just getting a talk?" It's probably a good time for a talk before he goes off to college and maybe gets around more. Hello, ATC. Devin says, if my dad gave me the talk senior year, I'd have stopped and said, where was this 3 years ago? Aaliyah says, it's crazy that they didn't do any of this for Doug. He was a doctor at the hospital. I mean, they did, but it was hard to take seriously because Trash is not a good crier. And Trash was already moving on with Joey. Leslie's just going to give away more money that she never runs out of. Got to take some notes. so I have something to talk about today with the review. Bookchild says the episode is bad. I would agree. Doc Backhand says Jan reminds me of Savannah's. Oh, I lost it. Mother in Waiting to Exhale about Grayson. He's a good man, Savannah. ATC says, so wait, they had a funeral? No, it's going to be an off screen funeral. Bobby Bobby says Leslie's going to use Grayson. Bookchild says Leslie's going to give him another job, maybe. Yeah, give the guy that was stealing from the hospital another job at a hospital. Makes sense. Franco says, how do you pull off those reviews when you're looking at the chat most of the time? You must be a really good note taker. I mean, sometimes I'm over here typing away while the episode's happening. But episodes like this, it's like, what notes can I take? We're throwing fucking paper airplanes around. ATC says, so did they have a full-fledged funeral? I don't think so yet. Aaliyah says, why would Ashley let Derek's dad think Jacob is at fault? Great question. For some convoluted drama, I guess. Bookchild says, I need Derek's dad to punch Jacob at least once. I would like that too. For all of the months that we had to see Jacob in his terrible disguise in our favorite alley, I would love Jacob to be punched just for that torture. Devin says Leslie should have bought Orphe jeans. At least she'd have some way to make income still. True. I mean, ATC, I don't know if Ashley's blaming Jacob, but she didn't get his father off of blaming Jacob. The hard question with episodes like this is always who should be in the thumbnail? Should I just put a paper plane in the thumbnail if I can? Franco says, so I'm glad we don't have to hear Jacob's fake hood accent anymore. That was terrible. It was. Not friends. And everyone's just complicit with Ashley's past actions. Alvin Chapman says, heartbroken for Tyrell. Boo. Hopefully, they find a way out of that story and keep a way for Tyrell and Jessica to stay together. Bookchild says the paper plane is more interesting than these characters. You're not wrong. Taiwan says Jacob sounded like a white guy that lived in the suburbs that don't know black culture but know how to make fun of sometimes I did feel like that too, actually. Like he was Smitty doing those accents. Smell the drama. Well, that was an episode. Thank God I might get to drink tomorrow because I'm gonna need it for this show. Bookchild says the alley had more personality than Jacob. It did. It's a great point. Bookchild says flop ending. It was. Devin misses the alley. Franco says I could just hear Jacob saying what's good. Ah. Bookchild says Jessica smashed and quit it. I know, what a player. Although I think she's just trying to do the right thing. Lightning Storm, you didn't miss anything. Just Derek's dad upset with Jacob, blaming him for Derek's death. All right, that's all for me today. I'll be back with my review later, and probably back with a watch along tomorrow, where I can hopefully drink tomorrow and maybe enjoy the episode more, even though I feel like it's going to be similar to today's episode. But thank you all for joining me. Y'all crack me up in the chat. Help me get through these not so great episodes when they happen. And I will see y'all tomorrow.